Good morning, sophomores. Welcome to special global pandemic edition of Global History and Geography 2. I tried my best to start on an uplifting topic, but just based on where we were in the class. I'm covering the rise of Hitler. Today, I am so sorry for covering Hitler the first day of this weird little schedule we have, but this show must go on. Let's get started. So, where we last left off, starting in 1933, the Nazi Party controlled Germany. And if you recall, 1933, Hitler got that Enabling Act pushed through the Reichstag, in which he became basically the dictator of Nazi Germany. And he and his party will install a totalitarian dictatorship. Hitler will take a new title called the Führer, which means leader in German. And at this point, the Nazis are going to use a bunch of different methods to control the German people, and that's what we're going to go over today. So they're going to use Hitler Youth, rallies, the secret police, propaganda, and rearmament. Let's look at these now. So let's start with Hitler Youth. The Hitler Youth was a Nazi youth organization, and they're going to do something known as indoctrination of the German youth. When you're indoctrinating someone or a group of people, you're basically teaching them to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. And the Nazis targeted the youth for this indoctrination because, if you figure young people, impressionable, at least the Nazis believed that they were easy to manipulate. So with this youth organization, they target the children of Germany and taught them to accept Nazi ideology, the totalitarianism, the racism, the belief in the master race as gospel, essentially. And these children are going to be instructed in Nazi ideology, including and especially anti-Semitism. A lot of the activities that the Nazi youth, the Hitler Youth, participates in resembled military training because they were seen as the future of the Nazi Party. And at the end of World War II, as the Germans lose the war, they will start putting members of the Hitler Youth into the German military as their numbers dwindle and as more of them get killed. So you'll see 12-year-olds, 13-year-old little boys being told by the Nazis to being given a gun and basically go fight the Allies. Young girls were also not spared from these youth organizations. However, the young girls basically were taught that the best way that they could serve the Third Reich, Nazi Germany, is to produce more Nazi children. So a lot of the young girls that go to these Hitler Youth events will come back home pregnant. So just something to think about. Again, Hitler and the Nazi Party saw the youth as the future of their party and took the indoctrination of these kids very seriously. What about rallies and demonstrations? So the Nazis held massive rallies, thousands of people, as you see in the pictures on the bottom of the screen, in order to showcase their growing membership, their popularity, their solidarity. Look at us, we're all one big happy family. The most famous of these were the Nuremberg rallies. They were held annually from 1933 to 1938, and the pictures you see on the bottom are photos taken from the Nuremberg rallies. So what do you see here? A lot of Nazi symbolism. You see a lot of swastikas. You see a lot of red. You see a lot of eagles, kind of Roman Empire iconography. Eagles would have been part of that. Symbols of their party. You can see NSDAP, the German Workers' Party, that would become the Nazi Party, was in there. There would be lots of goose stepping, marches, really energetic marching with your legs straight out in front of you. The North Koreans do it today. Fireworks, just these big events to just show how popular and how powerful their party is, and to get the rest of the German people on board with their party and on board with giving the Nazis more and more power over Germany. Secret police was also used by the Nazis. They were known as the SS, or the Schutzstaffel. And the SS were Hitler's special guard. So this was not the German military. This was not the Wehrmacht. This was Hitler's special police. And these were, the SS were like the worst of the worst, the most brutal soldiers, the most fanatic of the Nazis were in the SS, and they're going to have a big role in weeding out and getting rid of Hitler's political opponents. So this is a use of terror that we see. We've seen this already with the Soviet Union under Joseph Stalin, right, who had his own secret police. To do basically the same thing, using terror to maintain control. Okay, if you look at the cartoon on the right-hand side of the screen, it doesn't matter that you said nothing. I saw you think something, right? Thought crime, like George Orwell's 1984. If they just thought you were a threat, you were never heard from again. Okay, and that fear kept a lot of German opposition quiet, or at least the ones that were left, that weren't hauled off to a concentration camp or just outright killed. It kept them quiet, kept them out of the opposition. Propaganda was another thing that the Nazis used in order to get more support. And the Nazi propagandists are going to use a lot of the same strategies that we saw used by communists, especially in like Lenin during the Soviet Union, Stalin during the Soviet Union, a lot of strategies used by the Allies in World War I. You see a lot of bandwagon, emotional appeal propaganda that we've looked at in class already to win public support. So let's analyze a few of these propaganda pieces that I put on the bottom. The one with the two women on the lower left-hand corner, was a propaganda photo that showed friendship between an Aryan, white, German, Nordic-looking, blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, and a black woman, and the caption states, loss of racial pride. So they're looking down on this relationship, this friendship between a white woman and a black woman, and they're basically, the propagandists saying that this white woman is lowering her status in Germany by befriending this black woman. Okay, so again, like, big part of Nazi ideology, racism. The picture in the center, again, emotional appeal, right? Showing Hitler kind of sowing the seeds of the Nazi party. Remember, one of the big things that Hitler claimed he wanted to do was to restore Germany to its former glory, right? And he's doing that by marching throughout Germany and planting his seeds of Nazi ideology and brutality and racism and anti-Semitism. Speaking of anti-Semitism, the propaganda poster on the lower right-hand corner was an illustration from a German children's book, an anti-Semitic children's book. Again, indoctrination of the youth. This would have been read by little German children back in the late 1930s, and it has passages such as Jews are our misfortune, the Jews cheat, and then there's racist representations of Jewish men in that children's picture there, again, like furthering that anti-Semitic belief, that prejudice and hatred against Jews that's going to continue and eventually explode into the Holocaust, where 6 million of them will die. So again, a lot of propaganda, a lot of different types of propaganda targeting many different people. Again, all in order to gain support, to gain power. Last but not least is rearmament. Okay, so in violation of the Treaty of Versailles, Germany, Hitler and the Nazi Party are going to start bolstering the German military again. And this starts in 1935 when the Nazis passed mandatory military service for all young men. So all those young men that were out of work due to the Great Depression, they're now part of the Wehrmacht, the German military. This was a violation of the Treaty of Versailles. Germany was not legally allowed to grow their military in any way, shape, or form. Hitler also ordered construction of a new navy and a new air force, again in violation of the Treaty of Versailles. And then In 1936, about a year later, Italy and Germany will declare themselves as the Axis, and this is where we get the name Axis powers, the opposing side in World War II. Eventually, the Axis powers will expand to include Germany, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria. So that's all I have for you today. I know I'm leaving out a big topic here, anti-Semitism. I'm going to be doing a lot on that next week. So if you feel like this was a bit short and a bit incomplete, yes, there's a reason for that. I didn't want to give you too much at once. So please respond to the discussion board question on Classroom. Please mind the deadline. Okay, no late discussion posts will be graded, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. If you have any questions, please email me, and I'll see you on the other side. Take care. Bye.